Hello everyone, welcome to 2037, The Lost Fortune. Let's see what is the situation currently.
Good morning folks and welcome to Corporate Morning Session at Digital News. Rise in issue of compliance with rules of original requirements within free trade agreements. This is expected to affect many overseas consolidations. Verbal postpones its launch of Dream Project Automac, a self-driving car, and announced their role as collaborator with Alpine Motors. But the last fortune is not completely out of hand, as we can still see some rising rays of hope. Power1 confirms the launch of their charging stations, where you can now charge your batteries within few minutes. Also, they claim to have slight improvement in their battery performance. It is expected to run fully equipped 50 stations in the region by end of this year. New Ways, well-known software firm, have their new innovations on their way. CEO recently unveiled the development model called AI 3.0, implements strict quality checks in the industries.
As many companies are struggling in this situation, let's see what's going on at Stark Mobility Solutions. Let's meet our top management team from this firm. She is Ms. Sejal Topale, Chief Strategy Officer. That's me, Vaibhav, as Chief Technology Officer. Here is Ms. Sheetal Thote, Chief Financial Officer of the company. Now, here is the person who announced this urgent meeting. Mr. Saurabh Gawali, CEO of this firm. Mr. Gawali and team, along with their business consultants, are discussing on major issues that their industry is facing and need to be tackled on priority, which includes worries about decreasing car ownership, acceptance and development of autonomous cars, stringent sustainability and environmental norms that are imposed by the government. Affordability, security and trust in the acceptance of autonomous driving has become real concerns for the users, which is leading people not to accept level 4 and 5 autonomous vehicle, especially in the current state of economy. That has led many automotive OES to take back step on investments in autonomous driving technologies. Being technology and parts provider to them, it has really impacting our business as we have done huge investments in development of these technologies.
Let's consider that we will find a team on this and expect the workers to be done.
We thought our projects would be delivered soon and we will get back our investments and profits soon. But unfortunately, it's not happening as we expected. We need to change our strategies and come back strongly. In addition to this, government is asking us to focus on circular economy and sustainability practices in our offices and plants. They have been coming up with stringent requirements which would require us to do several changes in our manufacturing process and waste management. They are not even ready to provide any subsidies for supporting us financially. This changed regulation demands for high capital investment in these areas. Considering the business situation, it is a real challenge for us, thinking about any investments. Rather, we doubt that we should really focus on this considering our current state of business. Because of the diminished global prosperity and the government's lack of support for sustainability, no substantial developments are there since 2022. So, we as a firm decided not to invest on circular economy model for our factories too. On the number of fronts, the automotive sector is undergoing tremendous upheaval. Strong sales volatility and strong competition are driving automakers to cut down on investments. As demand for majority of their product falls. Weakened international cooperation is slowing the consolidation of auto OEMs on a global scale. So, starting with our scenario, through financial news, you all must have come across financial crisis once in your lifetime. Yes, we are facing the same now due to the decrease in global prosperity, which is affecting millions of people nowadays. Governments are struggling to fulfill even the basic needs of the people. Therefore, there is no support from them in terms of sustainable developments. Even companies are strictly monitoring their employees for the layoffs, as these companies are facing huge losses in terms of revenue. Now, employment rate is worst in the past 10 years, resultant of decrease in global prosperity. People are struggling even for affording their daily needs. Employees are getting fired without even further notice, resulted the questions in their minds how they can afford house expenditure and car ownership. It's time for them to think of some solution. Car sharing is one of the solutions people come across. New entrants offering such solutions like car subscription and micro-mobility, proving their disruptive business model by converting car ownership problem as the opportunity for them. Now people don't have to pay for such heavy maintenance cost and insurance of car. Taxi services saves a lot of time as they are just a call away. It reduces the number of cars on the road by reducing the individual car ownership. Advanced options of selecting different mobility packages as per the requirement is one of the major reasons for this shift. National fund reserves are getting lower and lower. Now, situation is out of control. Governments are planning some actions to stabilize the fund reserves. Resulted in the steep inflation in prices of daily needs, they plan to recover the economy with increase in the tax rates. But this strategy does not seem to be working out, as people started to protest against the governments, as most of the people are jobless and are struggling to survive. Earlier there was good international trade between the countries, but as per the current situation, it has reduced drastically. Many of the firms have to shut down their businesses as there is nothing to export. It's a nightmare for the businesses dependent on import and export, as it has resulted as a halt to internationalization of supply chain. Loans are getting rejected, companies have no option to expand their business. All this situation resulted in the decrease of the global free trade. Therefore, no cooperation is seen among the nations. People and governments are under heavy debts. Due to the ongoing protests, many countries even declared war to acquire resources of the other countries. Due to this, countries spending more on their armed forces. On the other side, global warming is significantly increased, resulted in forest fires and melting of glaciers. To counter this, government made stringent CO2 norms for the vehicles. But when asked who will implement other strategies to improve environment, no one comes forward. Some people just suggest to use renewable energies, but practically there is debate among them that survival is the priority than the environment awareness, as they cannot afford them in this situation due to the initial investments. due to the less willingness to adopt renewable energies, there is not much increase in the usage as expected. Therefore, people are selecting the facilities which is affordable to them despite of environmental friendliness. So, we have seen this story where nothing is in the favor of people and government. I would just say, problem occurs only for the short periods of time, so stay strong until then. Here we end our story of this lost fortune. Thank you for watching.